This is a reaction. Enter discussion for a show that goes with the name of. Season 4, episode 7, and just like Mark, I'll be trying not to die in this one. But when I came, I'll be fighting something much worse than frag.
Apologies.
Episode reaction is not going to commence. Right, flashback. I do have quite a few things to say in general when it comes to the show.
They resist us because we are occupiers.
Yes.
Labor will only aid in our goals. The courage.
I do wonder what actually convinced Thaddeus to become a different person. They're probably never gonna get into it unless it's just like this, a flashback.
We do not yet see the longer game. Regent Thrag is correct.
Oh.
Reduce the planet.
And that is why he's going to off you. Right.
They continue to resist.
Are we gonna actually see the fight? I have my doubts, but we'll see.
3:28 a.m.
What is that? I actually can't see what he's holding. Is that a knife? That's a bone? Oh. Okay. I mean, I guess it would make sense to make the weapons out of your own bones, considering your species is so ridiculous. Yeah, okay, no fight. He just assassinated him. Gotcha.
I do not believe you.
Okay. Ah, the Swashi technique. The most powerful Viltrum ability, I guess. I do wonder, is it an actual technique? Because they do have weird gravity controlling manipulation abilities, so there could be more than just strength of the Swash. Oh, no one? Right. Yeah. Huh. I guess that's just how the purge started. It is completely logical, but sure. I really thought there would be... I mean, I can discuss it more later.
3 hours later.
Ah, there he is.
It is done.
Is it? Huh.
I will not.
I don't wonder about that. Respect. I wonder whether it's truly because he didn't want to die in the fight, or is it because he just wanted to help? Rather, because he's loyalty towards the species, more accurately. There we go.
Eventually.
Is having fun? Do you worry about that? It's weird, whenever I do reactions of English shows, I always wonder, should I lower the volume much further? Because technically... I mean... Who knows? Who knows indeed? He was definitely theirs. But I still do wonder how power level wise they... Oh. How did that pierce? She has weapons that can pierce Viltrumites? It does work, but... Then, I mean, they said they have just 10. Shouldn't you kill them for a frag? Or even better, maybe give them to some of the stronger people other than Tank Jacket? No disrespect towards her, but very obviously I think she's the weakest person here. She's definitely more utility than power.
You're always weak, Krieg.
Ooh. Right, Oliver surviving against this. Blood just goes absolutely everywhere. They do not saying how incredible they are hyping themselves up. Normal Viltrum behavior. No. Watubiz, are you gonna get your first kill? I think she's still alive, which... That's the other thing. I do wonder, overall power level wise, how do the different... How strong is the weakest Viltrumite? Explosion. That was kind of weird. I wonder whether they wanted to say that was happening just super speed. It felt like I'm just not used to the animation of Invincible. Oh, yep, right there. There he is, the man with the strongest weapon. Wow, the thing with the strongest weapon.
It's not my gun you should be worried about.
These guys? I forgot their name, but... Are the cowards they have saving them? Because they are super weak against ice type moves, as we saw. And I'm pretty confident space is rather cold. So sure, I guess? Or is it specific reaction to their planet whenever something cold is happening? Yeah, they show it is as gruesome as you remember. But yeah, no, it's very weird that these things can survive in space, but not on a planet that... Well, they can still survive, but it's weird that they're not freezing? Ooh. Yeah, great flex. Was definitely appreciated. Apparently I was expecting something bigger of an impact, but hey. Maybe he was trying to stop himself. Which also is weird. They can control their own gravity. Obviously enough, I guess it's the force of the punch against the force of their gravity control, right? That's how they're flying around. Or how they're being thrown around. Something like that. My dog is going crazy. Let me see whether someone's coming here and trying to rob me or something.
A few minutes later.
Okay, it's very quiet. Why would the noise... Whatever. I'm struggling with volume control. Or maybe my ears are in a bad situation right now. Allergies.
Will be forgiven.
Will you accept both of his sons? You accepted Mark, but... I don't even know where I was going with that. I wonder where I edited it out.
Restore our people to their rightful place in the galaxy.
There's barely 40 of us left, Thrag.
Barely 40.
40 Viltrumites who know you better than
Created the Scourge virus.
and yet you fight beside him.
Like coming after my sons.
We test.
Right.
Do you think Thetis will be as kind to them if he wins this war?
Probably not. Oh, and you know that too? And they were hyping Nolan that he's basically one of the best. So I also wonder about themselves, how do they perceive us, who's the absolute winner? Or is it just because he's been kind of the show's number two? I can't try to explain, maybe I'll remember later.
Ridiculous creatures.
Hmm.
A distraction at best. That is what you think of every species but your own, Luca.
Right.
You'll soon learn better.
I mean, it can damage him. Ooh, rematch for these two. Right. Oliver can fight that lady. Oh, this is a very dangerous one. Ah, thank you. Finally, someone taking care of the big threat. Casually at that. I mean, that's the thing with someone like this. Even if you do have an infinite weapon, if they're just that much stronger and faster than you. I don't know why they were just... I mean, actually, I do know why they're standing there. As I was saying, I do actually... I know many people disagree and are angry whenever super powerful characters do this, where they're just basically flexing and auto-farming, but I kind of disagree with the sentiment. I think it is kind of inherently needed, not only to nerf them a little, but it just feels appropriate for super ridiculously powerful characters that they do feel so above it all that they don't really need to think or try. Even if they can and they actually understand that they could, but they would rather just brute force it.
To terms, and I will stop this.
I wonder what's the reason why Oliver and Mark don't want to go with the cape look. Maybe they'll explain it eventually. Oh, serious? Yeah, I mean, look at this. Is that... That's the thing with Viltrumites, and in general. I feel like people sometimes just forget the fact that, yeah, super strength, etc. But the flight itself is a power that's very different from each Superman variant thing. Was that because of just his super strength creating a vacuum with strength super speed? Or is it the flight gravity control having their own leverage thing? Was that helping? The creators sadly enough not always thinking. Talking about not always thinking, yep, alright. So it's pretty obvious what's going to occur here. Not one of you, yep. That's the one thing that, I mean, I personally don't react insanely whenever a character looks like they're dead, but even specifically in Invincible, for the Viltrumites, you need to try pretty hard to convince me. I'm not sure how loud it is in the video. What?
I killed Conquest!
Ah,
I'll kill you too.
that's what he said, right? Oh, impressed? Yeah, just whenever the villain says that. Yeah, as I was saying, whenever the villain says that.
I'm not impressed.
Not impressed, of course. Another thing villains love to say. Granted, the heroes, when they're getting revenge, also love saying it. Depends on the circumstances. No one's still trying to control himself. And that's what they mean exactly. It's just, their gravitational control is just weird. But yeah, as I was saying, the creators very rarely think about this type of thing, which is unfortunate. I also wonder... Let's see what's going to work. So the ammunition is not that incredible, they just are that... Not the ammunition, but the speed of the projectile is not incredible. They just chose to take the hits for whatever reason. I mean, as I said, they're very prideful, they They basically could win if they actually fought more intelligently.
Kill me if you can, and die if you cannot.
That risk?
So I may find a better foe.
Oof. So casual. Unity rank. Oof. Already knocked out. Okay. Alright.
No.
No. Oh, they can get rid of his master. Oh. Interesting. From what I know, I mean, obviously, Battle Beast is at a huge disadvantage here, but. What's it?
Later.
No.
They're gonna go through the planet? Yeah, wasn't Infinity Ray able to do that by itself? Why do they need, I guess maybe to make sure that it's completely devastated? Perhaps. Well, we're seeing right now, I guess. Super speed. Little effect. Blue fire. Super Saiyan. Ah, very anime moment of you destroying the planet. But then again, I've heard something that really annoyed me whenever I heard the creator say it, so I'm not surprised by what happens here. I will criticize the creator even though I think the show is great. And whatever, I'll talk about that. Yep, there we go. Okay. Ah, glorious destruction. I am curious though. How is this for a single Ultramite to just destroy a planet? Right. Now we're gonna be 5 minutes going through the planet. Going from planet for 5 minutes? I don't know, speech, my brain, everything's struggling.
A few minutes later.
Delightful. Well, Viltrum is no more. Impressive that Zoe can live in general. I guess it's kind of the thing, right? Good defense. Oliver. But yeah, Viltrumites, I'm not sure. They'll live anything. You have to literally pummel a Viltrumite for me to believe he's dead. Into a puree. Maybe. Then again, Conquest did die from lack of oxygen, which is just weird, but whatever. There we go, 3v1.
I choose death.
Of course, By the way, this telekinetic ability, telepathic ability, I'm struggling. Was it something that...
You are avenged.
He is avenged. Huh. That's what he did to a Viltrumite. I do know of certain spoilers of the comics, not much, just certain specific details, but... yeah. Oh, get Oliver, etc. Thaddeus is destroyed. I do... Okay, yeah, both will see. Let's see how this is gonna go first. As I said, not dead. I just know he isn't. For the Viltrumite specifically, you gotta try much harder to convince me. Although I do appreciate them kind of not growing, but making their irises bigger, etc. Just bigger emotions. Waste. The destroyed. Oh, the death. And what for?
Grand Regent. Kill him. Silence.
Evolution.
We are too few already.
Too few already. Okay. Well, time to go to Earth and make more, I guess.
Grand Regent.
Great question. He's thinking about it right now. Oh yeah, as I was saying, no one's gonna explain this telepathy thing, right? It's not Alan. Is it just a Viltrumite ability that they can also add their telepathic? Well, they're not dead. No, none of the Graysons are dead. I'm not even gonna entertain the possibility. It's difficult for me to feel any sort of fear towards them dying, and frankly, whenever they do die eventually, because this episode will do it, I will think it's trash and garbage, and I will not believe it, and it's the writer not knowing what he's doing. But anyway, I'll discuss that later, because I don't know when they're gonna die. I just know that this is one of those stories where we're gonna see the entire life of Mark. So I'm excited. But anyway, we can discuss later.
3 weeks later.
Back together. And alive. Of course, Oliver is the most destroyed.
You're alive.
Woke up yesterday. He'll be okay.
Of course he will
Just
be.
needs time to heal.
Yeah.
What happened to Thrag and the others?
What's the last thing you remember?
Getting destroyed. the new leader of the coalition. Granted,
Remaining Viltrumites.
the coalition isn't really that impressive, but that's another thing I can discuss, I guess.
We have ships searching disappeared.
I mean,
The hiding is a good sign.
obviously
right?
enough,
Ark
he knows.
They've gone to Earth.
Okay. Well, I do have quite a few things to say. Let me just... Alright, thankfully enough, I'm quite happy by the fact that my allergies didn't attempt to kill me as horribly as I expected. Right, the thing I wanted to say real quickly, I mentioned about the creator and what I don't like about him. So, there is this notion of the negative stigma of being a power scaler, etc., measuring how much the single punch impact the planet, etc., so on and so forth. I get it, that's not for everyone. Personally, it doesn't bother me. I would actually even love if all the authors actually paid attention when it comes to that type of thing in a fighting show, but a show where there's a lot of combat, to be more accurate. But just to say that this quote, maybe it's out of context, but from what I've heard, the creator is just that type of person. He says that the one who wins the fight is the one that wants more at the moment, which is the most, just the most stupid possible, idiotic, absolutely brain-dead thing ever said, because everyone with a functioning brain, even he himself, I'm certain, understands the fact that no, a normal person with a gun, no matter what they do, is not going to be able to defeat Mark in one, in hand-to-hand combat. Whatever, or just give him whatever weapon you like, unless it's a magical thing or something that enhances his capabilities, like the Gildaran suit. Just no, it's objectively not how it works. Obviously enough, there is circumstances where more powerful characters can hold back, or there's hostages, or they don't want to destroy the planet they're on, for example. That's also very much so an option, but just whenever I hear the prospect of power scaling doesn't matter at all in a show where fights are part of the main conflict, it's so absurdly stupid to me. I can't even take anyone seriously after that point, because they don't believe that. No one believes that that's the case. Obviously enough, it does matter. It's a literal part of the story. But regardless, excluding that specific line of the creator that really annoys me, and I guess it's a good excuse and explanation to why so many people have problems with certain aspects of the power scaling. I don't really have as much as probably many others do, especially with the survivability of Viltrumites. I've basically accepted it that unless they are literally pureed, they're gonna live. Unless you're Conquest and you specifically... Just to say something, I've never heard anyone mention it. I did watch reactions of people talking about that fight after he was able to defeat Conquest. And I think no one mentioned it, but what I think happened there is Conquest just took breath, or rather, just exhaled whenever came to the planet, and Mark just at that very second tried to choke him, basically taking advantage of Conquest being kind of off guard, and obviously enough doing his absolute best to hang on to him and just hold on until he lost his ability to breathe. But I mean, even then they were moving. That one is more acceptable to me. Just stuff like there's a lot of explanations you can give to, as I even mentioned some of them. Viltrumites obviously being incredibly cocky and overconfident, just deciding to take hits that they objectively don't need to. I'm completely fine with that. But it's so obvious with Frag's power level that they're gonna do another power scaling thing, not maybe in this season, but definitely in the next or the future seasons, whenever Frag is a threat or any other person that's super powerful is a threat. You have to... This is not the type of show to do training. It really isn't, even though it did supposedly. I doubt it. The difference they've shown, at least in this episode, between Frag and the Grayson family is absurd. Well, Oliver is always Oliver, what can I say? He's the bottom of the bottom tier when it comes to Viltrumites. We can have to have expectation when it comes to him. He's gonna grow stronger, I'm certain. Give him another year or two, maybe he'll be something then. But yeah, just the episode overall, destroying the planet, kind of forcing them to go to Earth, presumably. In all fairness, I wonder why they didn't go to Earth immediately after confirming that humans and Viltrumites can interbreed, and the result is pretty powerful with Mark. And I mean, I guess no one said it even then originally. He kinda didn't report to his outpost, but they figured it out eventually soon. I feel like there's just something missing that maybe they're forgetting, or just maybe it wasn't shown as well because unlike the comics they didn't have the time. Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like there's just something missing, something I'm not really realizing. Overall, Frag most definitely proved that he's the strongest thing we've seen in the show so far. Like, I don't think it's even remotely close when it comes to anything. Yeah? I mean, it's weird. No, I guess that's it. Literally everyone else is nowhere near. He easily was able to destroy Thaddeus, who is probably in the top 5 of the strongest Viltrumites, I would presume. He's pretty old, experienced, has incredible capabilities. He also, maybe this is my personal headcanon, I'm not sure whether it is the case, but maybe Frag has better control over his gravitational abilities, which I was talking about that in the reaction, and I still would love a little more detailed explanation. But I do understand, when it comes to fantasy series, it's better to sometimes leave things vague, because if you do give hard rules, then you kind of have to adhere to them. Otherwise, what's the point of giving them to me? And from what I said about the creator, he does not seem like the type of man that actually wants to give actual thought when it comes to such specifics. So, we'll see. But hey, overall it looked great. Obviously, I think they were able to kill 5 or 6 more Viltrumites, so now there is 30 something. I guess now that Alan is the leader of the coalition of planets, everything is great. He's gonna be a better leader, probably not become a threat, because they were most definitely foreshadowing that Thaddeus was gonna be the big bad evil guy after they defeat Frag, so that's a problem that's solved for the future. And I guess that's kind of the only true convincing way we've seen so far to kill a Viltrumite. Just paste their head completely. That's why, to repeat myself again, it will be very difficult for me to believe that any one of the Graysons dies unless it's specifically their head gets completely destroyed or their entire body is nowhere. And even then, can they survive if they just get beheaded? Is it an immortal situation? I won't be shocked. But anyway, it was definitely a great episode. Had pretty fun animation. It was not anything unbelievable, but hey, when it comes to Invincible, I think it was most definitely a way above average episode. And some very awesome moments, very awesome build-up. Let's see how the show ends. I'll probably be reacting to the next episode later after this, so let's do that, can subscribe to the channel and hope you enjoyed as much as I did.